debt bomb is about to explode. The second act of Donald Trump has proven to be a massive departure from his first foray into electoral politics. As predicted here on this show with our very own deep state Cuba, Trump has filled positions with loyalists as well his court stacking. Some see the current administration as the United States neo-fascistic turn, but his economic policy seems to be more of the same neoliberalism, just with a MAGA patina. The Donald's famous catchphrase, "You fired," from his days as the no-nonsense corporate overlord, was replaced with, "You get a tariff." Trump dispatched tariffs like Oprah gives away cars, with reckless abandon. While much of this tough tariff talk was just bluster, one of the things the focus on tariffs has done is take away from the massive debt burden the country is dealing with. From our guest's latest article in Compact Magazine titled "America's Exploding Debt Bomb." Quote, "Attention needs to shift to the national debt load because it is this, not the trade deficit, that ultimately underlies the economic, political, and cultural malaise through which the United States is living. The numbers are grim. The debt-to-GDP ratio has remained above 120% since 2020, higher than it was at the end of World War II. The national debt is set to hit $40 trillion in 2026, up from 530 billion in 1975. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury yield, a key benchmark for everything from mortgages to business loans, has climbed from a pandemic low of 0.6% to more than 4.5%, driving up the cost of credit across the board, pinching ordinary Americans in the form of rising housing costs and inaccessible credit. Bond yields have continued to rise even after Trump softened or paused some of the tariffs. The numbers reveal a feedback loop of dysfunction. As lenders grow nervous that the U.S. tax base is too weak to sustain its obligations, the Treasury struggles to sell bonds without offering lower prices and higher yields. This translates to more interest payments, which are already the second largest item in the federal budget. The average interest rate on repaid government debt was 1.7% in 2020, but has risen to 3.3%. That might not sound like much, but 1% of 30 trillion represents a $30 billion jump. Refinancing $9 trillion in bonds in 2025 at these rates will siphon money away from everything else, while chaining future generations to a perpetual repayment treadmill. Unquote. What does this all mean for the American economy, with the Supreme Court allowing the mass firings and thus continued gutting of government agencies? Will more privatization really be the economic answer? Or are we on the pathway of becoming a post-Soviet oligarchy situation? I don't have...